Hey crew, it's Pitt, and I'm back with a little something different. Today we're going to be talking about the human chakras. We're going to be talking about location and what they are. So if that's a little bit too crazy for you, too woo-woo for you, be blessed, have a great day. But for the rest of you, we're just going to dive on in. And we're going to start first by talking about what they are, what they signify, and all of that real quick. And there will be a whole separate video on how to clear and align things, but this is going to talk more about what they are and how they get misaligned, right? So let's talk about location. This graphic is almost correct. The symbols in the middle really don't matter. The colors do. The locations do. And so the colors are right. The colors are on point, but the locations are a little bit off. First, let's talk about what the actual chakra is, right? So the chakra is an energy center located throughout your body. Depending on your belief, there are either more than 7 or a lot less, right? I think that there are 8, and we're going to talk about that. But these 7 are close to where they're located. They're not right, though. If you go and you take your fist and you ball it up, right? The circle that is created around the outside of your fist, which take your widest part and make a circle, right? That is about the size of your chakras. Some are a little bit bigger, some are a little bit smaller, but that is about right. The first one, the base, is red. It's located half in and half out of your body, located at the base of your spine. Like if you cut it in half, the top part is inside your body. This bottom part is on the outside of your body. It is the beginning of the octave. I believe that human existence is a frequency, and our particular frequency is dictated by these magnetic centers. They're like different antenna picking up information as it comes to you from out there. And so this part of the harmonic is the base. This is just your instincts on survival. This is breathe. This is find shelter. This is find food. It is the very base thing that you need to survive. You can be pulled into this in an emergency situation, and we'll probably talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Next up is the orange here. This orange right here is your sacral. It is located about half a hand's width above the top of the other one, is the base of that one. It is just behind the genital area, and again, it is about the size of your fist. It is focused on, as you would think, being located in the genital area. It's focused on reproductive, right? You have secured your base instincts. Now you are securing your instincts to reproduce and be successful in evolution in that manner. Next up is the yellow, and that's about a hand above the top of the other one. And it's using your hand because you are the measurement in your body. And it's in your gut, right? This is where you get your gut feeling from. This is where your intuition lies in the situation around you. This is, again, part of the baser needs. It is the need for sustenance. It is the consumption of the food that you have gathered. We have gathered the food, and we are safe with it, and we are going to eat it now. It is where your body receives its nourishment from. The heart is the green. It rests right here in the center. It's about the size of your hand. And it's not quite centered in the heart. It is a little bit off to the side. It is in the center of your chest, whereas your heart's off to the side a little bit. This is dealing with love. This is dealing with your intuition on people as opposed to situations. The interaction between the two, when you get a gut feeling, like if you walk into a room and there's somebody in that room and you look at them and it's like your heart just drops, either in a suspicious way or a romantic way, because it happens either way. That is the interaction of these two chakras, right? We're going to get back into that in a minute, but it governs your intuition with people, whereas this one governs your interactions with situations. This one is making sure you're safe. This one is attracting. It is holding together your baser instincts and your higher instincts, which are the next ones. And it is a power source. We're going to talk more about that in the next part of this. We'll talk a great deal about the heart chakra. And then we've got the throat chakra, which is blue. It is right here in your throat, about a hand above your heart. Is the bottom, right? From the top to the bottom is about a hand's width apart. And then it's about here. It's dealing with communication. It is dealing with suppressing your voice or expressing your voice. And I have a lot of issues there. That is why I've had the blockages here, is suppressing my voice for so long. Above that, we get into the indigo, and that is the third eye chakra. And this is located a little bit wrong too. A lot of people like to put that right here, right in the front of your eye, and it's not the right spot, people. I'm sorry. I know I just pissed somebody off, but it's kind of what I do. It is actually, if you go directly between your ears and behind your eyes, right here, bam, where that crosses is the center of your third eye chakra. It surrounds your pineal gland, and it's where you receive intuition about incoming information. It's how you interpret information. And then the crown chakra here is, again, in the wrong spot. It's about a half a hand, right? About half a hand above your third eye is the crown chakra. And like your base chakra, it sits half in and half out of your body. It is where you receive the divine information from. It is where the divine information can come into your body through either the top or the bottom. And your response to that is either a baser response or a diviner response. And I know diviner is not proper English, but it is what it is. A more divine response or a more base response, I guess, would be a better way to put that. And having these different centers in alignment can improve your life and your health and all of these things. Now we're going to talk briefly about what a chakra is, and most of you will be familiar with this type of a picture. This is the representation of a magnet, right? We have a positive and a negative pole, and there's a magnetic force that is surrounding it, and it is doing its thing. And this thing looks a lot like this, right? This is iron fillings for the following the magnetic field that surrounds this magnet. That is what a chakra is. It is basically this magnet, but it is not like a physical magnet. It is just a collection of nerve cells that emit a magnetic force in different areas of your body. And they emit those forces at different frequencies. And the frequencies can influence those forces. I don't know where I put my notes on the frequencies. I have notes on the frequencies, and it will be in the book, and we will get into it in the next chakra video. But for this point, just know that there are different frequencies that affect different centers of your body. That's why you feel bass in your chest and you feel the high caps in your ears, right? And that's your body responding to those harmonics coming in. But basically, the chakras are this, and we can see this reflected throughout history, right? These tree of life depictions here, the tree of life are the chakras. It is a torus. This is if you were to take a magnetic field and to make it move, this is the feeding out and coming back around, right? It looks like a donut that eats itself over and over and over again. That is a magnetic field. That is this. That is this. This is the representation of the tree of life. This is the canopy of the tree, and this is the roots of the tree. And they seek out each other, right? The tree canopy leans down just a little bit, and the roots come up as high as they can inside the dirt to receive the nourishment, but they also go down, and they create a circle all the way around. Well, that circle all the way around is what I believe. Well, wrong tab. Oh, wait, could y'all see that? Yes, okay. Y'all can. I had to resize some stuff, and I meant to resize that before y'all saw it, but it worked. So now back to the chakras as they sit in the body. This is the standard. This is what everybody thinks, right? But there's one more. There's one more chakra that you do actually have access to, and you do actually, you are actually able to use it, and it is the divine chakra, right? You've got the crown, and that's where you receive your divine information. You got the base, and you can receive divine information from there too. You can receive it through all of them, but the ones in the middle are mainly an interpreter, whereas it's a physical reception at the top and the bottom. We're going to talk about that more in just a second, but there's one more, and it surrounds your body. Your entire body is surrounded by an energy field. If you put your arms out as far as they'll go, and your legs out as far as they'll go, and you draw a circle all the way around, so it touches the fingers where they're outstretched, and the toes where they're outstretched. That circle turned into a sphere, and surrounding you is the 8th chakra. It is sometimes called the Merkaba, and people tend to view it as an external thing, but it's not really an external thing. What it is a protective layer. The divine is brutal, right? The divine, the text we have of people who interacted with the divine, it was a marking process. It changed them physically, for most of them. And so we have this thing to help insulate us from that. And we're going to look at this real quick. Let's look at this one first. This is a good representation of the magnetic field in action. This is the Earth's magnetic field, right? It is supposed to be a circle pretty much all the way around us in a toroid, or a torus all the way around us, where this magnetic field comes out and it goes like this. But we're moving through space along in this direction, circling around the sun, while the sun is also rotating around something larger out in space. So we're moving in several different directions at different velocities at any given point in time. It's kind of like woo, 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 woo type of thing. And so it compresses our magnetic field. The electromagnetic radiation coming from the sun, which feeds all life on the planet, compresses this magnetic field, and it keeps us somewhat shielded from the brutal reality of the divine. And this is a good illustration of what I'm talking about, because these lines here that mirror this so very well are the chakras that we talked about that are internal, that are the size of your fist. But the one that encapsulates us is this one. To gain access to this one, though, takes work. You don't just get to jump into that. You don't get to jump into dealing with your Merkaba off the top. It takes intense work. It takes a lot of intentionality. It takes meditation. It takes practice. But it also takes aligning all of these chakras. You have to be aligned in order to have access to your Merkaba. And the way that you do the alignment is the subject of another video, but this is the out of alignment, right? If this is a magnetic field when it's working correctly, where did I put this? This is two of them together. And in this particular illustration, this is two identical poles. They push against each other because like and like push against each other. And so these poles are kind of holding in suspension. I can't really illustrate it with these magnets because I don't have a way, but there's like a resistance and a force in between there that you can force it, but it takes a lot to do it. It's almost like there was an invisible marble in the middle of there, and you can feel the outside boundaries around that marble. Well, that is this illustration right here. And they're kind of suspended there, and they're holding each other apart. That's how the chakras work. You have these several different energy centers, and they are each attracting what they are attracted to. They are pulling in the energy that is for them, and they are expelling the energy that is not. But in doing so, they are working in conjunction with the next highest and lowest of the chakras. So your heart chakra is working in conjunction with your throat chakra and with your sacral chakra to maintain its balance where it's supposed to be. And so when you walk into the situation, like I was talking about earlier, you walk into the situation and it's a room full of people. This one person strikes you. That is a harmonics thing. That is something inside you, literally, reacting to something inside them. There is a polarity difference there. And depending on where your polarity is aligned is what is happening. So say that this person and you're physically attracted to them and you see them and you're like, oh, and your heart jumps, right? That is the magnetic field aligning towards them. And it throws you out of balance. Or you walk into the room and you see somebody that looks a little bit shady. Somebody looks a little bit like me off up in the corner and they're looking at you like, right? And so your heart jumps in a different way. And you're like, ooh, and you kind of retract. That is your heart reversing the polarity and repelling that thing. All of these do that with different stimuli. What I'm trying to do is to bring that stimuli into focus. And through that, if you know what the stimuli is that affects the different chakras, then you can work on maintaining the balance of them chakras. Because if not, and you wind up looking like this, and your magnetic field is just going all over the place, right? Now, this is the sun. This is not like a good representation. This is the sun, and this is different sunspots, and the magnetics coming out of the sunspots. But it's a good representation of a magnetic field that is not harmonious. It is a little bit out of whack. And because it's out of whack, it doesn't function like it's supposed to. You get sunspots, you get coronal mass ejections, you get filaments, you get all of these things on the sun that can affect us outside. I think when we have that reaction, it is our body naturally creating a sunspot. And it is repelling whatever it is. Or we're creating something to attract whatever it is. And it is our harmonics recognizing that. Now what I think happens is, and what seems to be true for me, and because it seems to be true for me, we're going to talk about it on this overlay here. I'm an INFJ. That means that I am NIFETISE. The way the overlay seems to work on this is, you have the divine, which is not pictured here. We'll just take it for this purple box on the outside. And it is if you take all of the light and you put it together, you get a white light, right? Well, the white light is the divine Merkaba color. It is the color that surrounds you. It is white. And if you're not seeing it white, it's because something is out of alignment. And what is out of alignment throws a different shade or color on the Merkaba. Like, some people can read that. They can look at it and see it and tell you, oh yeah, your throat's out of alignment, right? Some people can do that. I'm not gifted in quite that way, but I can recognize my own. I can recognize the various ones. But the way that the stack seems to overlay on this is that the divine all the way around you seems to be your hero slot. Hero slot for me is going to be an eye. It is going to be narrowing down everything into this one possibility. There is only one possibility, and all others are just silly. I make that determination through the rest of my stack, right? But it seems to be that information comes whether I want it to or not. This is going to be the best choice for this idea. So for me, every piece of information is going to come in, and I'm going to throw it into my box of this is the best idea. I'm going to try and do that because of my crown chakra. The thing that I feel responsible for, my parent slot, is going to be making sure that what I am doing is ethical. I'm very concerned about other people's feelings about things. That is why I've put off a lot of the Bible study stuff, is because I don't want to hurt people's feelings. And even though I give a disclaimer, sometimes I'm going to hurt people's feelings because I'm stepping on generations of tradition. And we'll get into that too. And from there, we're going to get into the child slot, right? And then the child slot and the third eye slot are where you receive your intuition, because you get defensive. You get defensive about, for me, it's going to be a TI, and I'm going to get defensive about what I think, about the logic of the situation. If the situation is not logical, then it is incorrect. It doesn't fit in the box. And so I will get defensive over that. And that is my intuition expressing that. It's different for different people, but my intuition has to deal with logic, and I do process that way. I am like, is this logical? Does it make logical sense? And if it does make logical sense, then I will consider it. If it does not, I will not. That's why I don't hold with the flat earth theory. From there, we get down to the inferior slot, which is the throat chakra, right? That is this blue one right here. And I've got my notes over here. Just let me pull it over here again. This is where I express. This is communication. This is, for me, this is going to be what is, right? I'm going to try to express what actually is, what you can actually touch. And that is another reason why this has been so hard for me, because you can't actually put your hands on an aura for most people. Like, some people can manipulate them that way, but I don't knock it. Like, Reiki is based in something. Acupuncture is based in something. All of these things manipulate magnetics. That is how that's working. And so, for me in particular, though, it is going to be more based towards, well, how can we prove this? And that's why I've had a hard time breaking into what I'm doing. This is my inferior. This is where, like, I'm going to think I'm great at a lot of things, right? I'm going to talk a big game because it's my throat. And I'm going to talk a big game about how I can do this. And yeah, I can do it, but I'm probably not nearly as good at it as I thought I was, because it is an inferior slot. And in the inferior slot, you think you're great at it. You're not. Like, I play sports not well. Like, I used to play sports not well, but I can do it. I can hit the ball. I can field the ball. I can throw the ball. but I was never going to be a professional athlete. I just didn't have that knack that an SE dominant does. Whereas an SI dominant, they don't even want to play sports because they don't fit in there. They're like, yeah, not really my thing. Some of them excel at like fencing and solo sports that are very technical because SI is all about technicality. I'm getting off track here, so let's get into the heart chakra, right? Your heart chakra is the nemesis slot. This is the part that is it's about I love and about peace, but it is your secret longing. It is a thing that you really think, like, not that you think you are good at, but that you want to be good at, but because your divine slot is opposite of it, right? You're gonna think that is filling that need. For me, that is going to be NE. I'm going to overlook possibilities because I am so sure I already know the one possibility. It is another one of those reasons why I didn't do what I'm doing now, is because I was holding back on this possibility because I was already sure that these generations of this one possibility had to be right. And when I found out my box was wrong, it really threw me off for a while. But now I got the right box, I hope, and I'm filling it with the correct information, I hope, and I'm getting it out there to y'all so that you have the actual experience of it. Then we're going to get into the more base instincts, right? This is your sacral or your solar plexus. Your solar plexus is what's going to feed you, but this is going to be your critic too. This is where you have your gut instinct, right? When you walk into a bad situation and you know it's fixing to be bad, and your gut's just telling you, man, you need to get the hell out of here. That is what's going on. That is your critic telling you you don't need to be here. This was a bad idea. You're gonna pick out that through that slot, and that slot for me is going to be how I feel about it. If it violates my morals, which FI is my morals, as opposed to if it fits everyone's ethics, because you can be in a group of people who have their own set of ethics, that their set of ethics can be antithetical to actually your morals, right? There are people out there who, what's a good way to put this, is the difference between ethics and morals is this group has decided that these are the rules that we're going to live by, right? You're going to have procedures done to you whether you want to or not, and you're going to wear articles of clothing whether you want to or not, or they have decided collectively that this is what you have to do because this is right. Whereas your morals are, I have decided that I'm going to do this because it is right. Whether or not it is what they believe. I think that's as close to an explanation as I can get and leave this on YouTube. But that is going to work from your critic. And that works in conjunction with your heart and with your sacral, and to let you know when you're in a bad situation. When it starts getting out of whack, it lets you know. You can feel it when it happens. And that's what most people are going to identify with. When you go down a roller coaster and your stomach drops, it's the same feeling because your body is saying something is not right in this situation. And that's what that is. When you go over a hill too fast, it's the same thing. Your body is responding to outside stimulus. Well, it's the same thing when you walk into a bad situation. Your body is responding to some outside stimulus. What filter you see that stimulus through, like what's going to clue you off to the bad situation, is going to be different. If I walk into a room, and even if everybody else in that room has already decided that this is perfectly acceptable, if I walk into it and it conflicts with my morals, I'm out, period. It don't matter what else happens. That is how I filter things. All right. Oh. And so that brings us into the trickster. The trickster is almost the basest of them, right? This is where your sexual energy lies, and that's your trickster, right? That's the part that trips you up. That's the part that really, like, the stories of the trickster god, and it's always playing tricks on people to get the worst out of them. That is what your trickster function actually does. That's its natural alignment. It is closer to the lower harmonic than it is the upper harmonic, and it's receiving that baser energy to help you reproduce. Because let's face it, nice guys don't get picked for a reason, right? They don't live that close to their base instincts. And the base, which is where you can receive the wrong information, that is your demon. It is very focused on survival and me. It is the I am this thing, right? And you receive the base level of information. This is where, between this one and the sacral, that is where most life resides. Like, you don't see a third eye chakra in an animal or a tree, but they have roots and they have a canopy, or they have the desire to go and hunt and feed and to mate, but not much else. They don't plan for the future. There's none of the rest of the stack there. Those are the same instincts in humans. We just learn to overcome them for the most part. But for some of us, these can be real sticking points. The sacral and the base chakra can really be sticking points. For me, my base chakra is going to be SI. That is an SI demon. Well, SI demon is going to have a hard time remembering things, right? Because SI is long-term memory storage. SE is short-term memory. Hey, look at this. Hey, look at this. Hey, look at this. Whereas SI is, hey, remember this one thing might help in this situation right now. And for me, knowing the best option in physical things is not really going to be my forte. I'm going to think I do. I'm not going to be good at it. I'm going to see all the shiny things, but I'm not going to be able to pick the best one very well. It is also, I forget things that have happened. Like, if you know me, you know I have a real hard time remembering what I did last week. I'm like, and it's separate from the medicine that I use. Like, some things stick and some things don't. But for a long time, I really did have like a fly trap memory. And I thought for a while that I was having some cognitive issues due to all of my nerve stuff. But I think what happened was I actually started getting healthy in my stack. And so a lot of the things that were beaten into me as a child, one of which was to retain information. Because if you got sent to the store for 5 items and you came back with 4, that was an ass whooping, right? And when I say an ass whooping, a lot of y'all wouldn't have took it, right? A lot of y'all just wouldn't have been able to take the ass whoopings that were just an ass whooping. Like, that ain't even counting the beans. It's just a regular ass whooping. And so, as part of the trauma response, I got really good at making sure that I could remember things. And I got really good at making sure that my SI demon didn't kick me in the ass. And as I've gotten through my trauma, a lot of that has fallen off, and I don't remember the details like I used to. But I can see things in a better way than I used to be able to. And that's because I'm working my way up through my stack. I know that this is really, really confusing, and it's like, I don't understand, but I really wanted to just get the placements out there. I wanted to get basic functions out there. We will be talking a lot more about these individually. I will be doing a type specific one for each one of these individually. But hopefully, by that point in time, my SI demon allows me to actually make the graphics I need. Because apparently I can't do that. Like, to sit down and make the graphics, it's like pulling teeth for me. And that's an SI thing. I just don't want to do it. I just wanted to get out basically where they are, to correct the information that there are only 7. Most people believe there are only 7. And That's these 7. That is not taking into account the extra one. The extra one encapsulates all of them. It is the covenant of the rainbow. Remember we just did that in Genesis? Well, the covenant of the rainbow, this is part of that. It may not be spelled out in that text, but it is spelled out in other texts. And this rainbow, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, combine when aligned to make a white that is the divine. That is the breakdown of the rainbow. Now, I'm really hoping that the overlay with the MBTI stuff works the way that it appears to for me. I don't have a great sample size of being able to do the overlays, and I really wanted to make sure that it worked for me and for a few specific examples around the house before I put it out there at all. But this is not like putting it out at this point is a big step, because for me, I've been burned by my SI, and so I really want to make sure that I have my evidence in line. This is me putting things into this new box of mine. And this new box of mine is the oneness of God. This is part of that. This is what Jesus did when he was trying to help people, when he performed his miracles. It was through the alignment of this. I know that just pissed off a whole new set of people, but it is what it is. I hope I did bring a little bit of enlightenment and not too much confusion to a very serious topic. This is foundational. It will probably get reworked as we progress, but I needed to at least get the information out there about what they are, where they are, and what they govern in a very basic sense, so that when I come back, you have at least that foundational knowledge, because the next time I come back, we will be diving in without all this introduction. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me, and I am praying for you every single day. Till next time, this has been Pittstake. Peace.